Thanks for staying with us now. Nigeria's manufacturing sector has a huge potential to grow and compete with many of its counterparts in most emerging and advanced economies. The sector is made up of 77 various subsectors, industries from automobile to food down to plastics. The list is endless. These are ordinarily expected to boost economic growth by harnessing the country's vast array of land and mineral resources. But despite being exposed to a market with a population of over 200 million people, the biggest in the continent, the Nigerian manufacturing sector is yet to reap the benefit of a large market, and it's growing only at an average of 2% annually. Players in the industry are faced with high cost of production and a harsh operating environment, but also the high appetite by Nigerians for foreign-made products who generally distrust the quality of Nigerian-made products. But is excellent quality possible? That's the question for tonight. Is it possible for us to have excellent quality made in Nigeria products? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So in case you do not know, every time you see Milola online, offline, interline, every line, she has never, ever put on an outfit that she did not make herself.
That's correct.
So you are one person that I know that
promoter of my brand.
You promote
Every day, all the day.
yes,
Yeah.
like so what I'm wearing, yes.
I never wear any brand that isn't mine.
So and what I am
Past
wearing,
4 years, I
yes.
haven't worn any outfit that isn't made.
Auntie, can you let me finish the introduction?
You started it, you got my blood running out.
And what I'm wearing is actually a Milola creation. So she does clothings and all of that. So because you are in the manufacturing, let me start with you. What are the biggest concerns that consumers face that make them not to pick a locally made Nigerian brand and focus on foreign goods? Then before I bring in Manny and our guests.
Well, that experience is changing very quickly and quite fast. I do not think a lot of Nigerians do not buy made in Nigeria. I actually think they consume a lot of our products in terms of the clothing line sector. I don't know
fashion, yes.
Yes, in the fashion space, Nigerians are consuming Nigerians huge. And when I see some of the work done by other Nigerians, I'm inspired, I'm challenged to really stretch my mind. And it's not just about the beautiful stuff, it's about the finishing of the garment. You know, I want to be able to flip my garment inside and compare it to something I'll buy from a top brand outside of this country. And that's really, for me, the main thing. And trust me, Nigerians are consuming Nigerians. I do not think that I've gone to events, maybe you go to all these red carpet events, most of the brands that people are wearing are actually made in Nigerian products. So for me, we've really been able to demonstrate that we're good in terms of excellence. But what you should ask me and what's my major concern is, how do we sustain that excellence? It's a major, major concern.
Yeah, well, it's good we have a guest with us. But I was going to say to you, Milola, that is finished product sewing. What about the fabric? People would rather go and get imported fabrics because they believe that the locally made fabrics do not sew. For instance, now
quality.
Yeah, my sister, you can't sew clothes tomorrow and you do like this and the thing follow your hand. You know.
When it comes to the fabric, the raw material, it's
still a big challenge.
Yes, you have to source most of the products
abroad.
Outside.
Okay.
Yes.
Manny, let me come to you.
Yes.
What's your take? Do you do more Nigerian or you do more?
Okay, a few years ago, I didn't even do Nigerian at all because, you know, there's this issue with tailors and wahala. So I didn't even try. You try one, then you just say, you know what, I give up. But like Milola said, they have improved over time. So much so that now I can say, like, maybe not half, but like a quarter of my wardrobe is actually.
So let's not focus on clothes.
Okay.
So for instance, your furniture.
Whoa, furniture. I think they're doing a very good work. That space, that industry, they're doing very well in furniture. So I actually make furniture myself.
Yeah. You did not tell me that. So importer, exporter.
So now you're hearing. So I told you I have a lot of sides. So one of my sides is interior design. I'm an interior decorator, designer. Yeah. So I make my own furniture. So because of my taste for very good stuff, so my standard is very high. So now I see I go to places, I go to offices, and then I see Nigerian made chairs. I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah,
Nigeria.
really
you enter very big shopping malls and you see furniture made in Nigeria, and you are wowed. You know, so I think we are actually beginning to take our space, you understand, in this industry. So yeah,
awesome.
And then when you look at Nigerian music as well, we're trying, we're going places.
That one,
So,
I mean, the airplane now, if you play foreign music, we'll just be waiting.
It's like, what are you doing?
What they do is that they play like 10 Nigerian music. And
then they just sneak one in.
You know, let me bring in our guest. Joan Mbogu is the founder and CEO of Joanswood Creation Limited, a furniture producing company that creates unique bespoke furniture products, accents, elegant decorations for homes and offices with a perfect balance of form and function for individuals and corporate clients in Nigeria. Joan, who received her Bachelor of Chemical Engineering from Anambra State University, transitioned to becoming an entrepreneur and has obtained certificates for basic leadership, entrepreneurial leadership, certificate in fundamentals of starting and running a business, certificate in management strategies for people and resources, certificate in design-driven entrepreneur, certificate in servant leadership, and certificate in strategies for personal and growth development as well. And she's joined us to give us another certificate this evening. Certificate in speaking. Thank you so much, Joan, for joining us.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
So it's actually quite interesting when you hear, I just saw you smiling when they were talking and you're nodding your head that we're there, you know. So before we come into your particular field, which is, what's it called, the furniture industry and all of that. First of all, how well are we doing in terms of quality for made in Nigerian products? How well are we doing?
Okay, so thank you so much for having me. I think we're doing pretty great, like the other two people have spoken. So we have transitioned over the years, especially for the made in Nigeria products. People have taken time to invest on what it takes to get these products to the international standard, right? So people are beginning to see that, okay, like she said, she's walked into stores and she's amazed at what she's seen. People are taking deliberate effort to see that, okay, it's high time, we don't have to import, we don't have to go for the international thing. We have these things locally. Let's explore. What do we need? I think the first thing is identify what do you need to meet to that standard and going for it.
You know, it's actually interesting because let me bring one basic thing that I think we've not gotten right. Tissue paper. Oh my.
We haven't gotten it.
Oh my God.
I wish I can import every other tissue.
I don't actually
have you
with that.
Yeah.
Do you use Bell?
It's not as great, trust me. You can't compare it with what you buy outside of this country.
Yeah.
Forget it. Even that's the best of them.
I know, but you know they are making these things for a particular
niche.
So
the reason I actually brought it down to tissue paper because I have seen people that import that thing in containers.
Yes.
Because they tell you that the quality, the harshness.
How much is the tissue that they import?
It's more expensive, but give us a quality thing and let us
and see whether we will not pay it, you know. So why are we having...
That part of it, I don't agree we have touched it at all. When it comes to excellence in that space, I don't have it.
So again, I think
me,
another thing, sorry, maybe that might warrant why people are not getting. So some of these manufacturers actually have target audiences, like she said. So it's possible somebody must have tried doing the high quality stuff.
I don't agree.
And they are not getting...
Nigerians love to buy stuff. Trust me, you put anything on the Nigerian market and it's good. They would make a class out of it. They would even make it look like a
class thing.
Do you understand? Trust me, there is nothing Nigerians don't consume.
You're talking about the class thing because you're talking about the people that can afford it. For the people that cannot afford it, there's no class thing.
Even in this
they are looking for what they can buy.
Do you know the cost of
the shelf?
Do you know the cost of the tissue we're comparing here in the market where they sell them is actually rock bottom prices? It's because we compare with our own currency that it looks like a premium product. So we're looking at the unit cost of that particular commodity.
Thank you. So that's what I'm saying. So
it's
if
nothing
we have to also
that is supposed to be expensive.
Manufacture the quality she's talking about, it'll be very pricey. I tell you the truth.
So maybe, like you said,
I think
the
it's
bill,
a price thing.
Yeah, it's a price thing too.
So let's come back to your industry.
No,
because it's a big issue. Because you see, this is I just wanted us. Yeah, I wanted to throw that in so that we just have an idea that sometimes Yes, people would say, you know what,
products.
I would rather do something, you know, but some other people have gotten it right, honestly, and we must give it to you. Like, I mean, Manny said, when it comes to furniture, you go to some spaces now and you'll be wowed. Like, now Nigeria, I do this thing. Is this us? This was something that I know people that used to import kitchens from China.
Yeah.
So they send dimensions to the Chinese company building the kitchen, so they will now ship the in parts, then you come and assemble here. So how come that is changing? What are we getting right in your industry?
Okay, so in my few years of being in the industry, we've been able to identify some of this. Like I said, you have to look at what would it take. So for me, I'm looking at 3 things that we have looked at and said, okay, these are the things that we need to do. So one of it is the people. So you need skilled people to be able to do a very good job, to be able to do a well-finished job. Second of it is raw materials. What kind of raw materials do you use? How much attention do these manufacturers pay into getting the actual and the right raw materials? And the third one is a tool. So you need equipment to be able to do very high quality, exactly, cutting edge design. So if you're able, these are the 3 things that we have been able to identify over the years,
Well,
and we've tried. Okay, which is
Quality control.
okay, exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, thank you. Yes,
major.
yes, thank you. Quality control, because it's one thing to, you know, do a product and
Who checks it?
who checks it. Thank you. In fact, very, very correct. So oftentimes I've had projects that I've delivered and maybe for some reason I'm not at that time, or maybe the quality person is not on site to check, and you find out that the feedback, the client like, okay, this thing is not the same color, or it wasn't how we talked about it from the onset. So that's where the quality thing comes in. So maybe, thank you, that's the 4th thing. So the people doing the job, the raw materials, the equipment you're using to getting those products, and quality control checks. So we've been able to
Okay, so let me let them in, because me, I have many questions.
Yeah, so for me, you know why quality control is a biggie? I had I'd ordered for some dining sets, and then they brought the chairs many years ago, and then they brought the chairs and dining chairs like this, and somewhere this height, somewhere this height, somewhere
not the same.
So that was what made me even go into it, like, see, I can do better. What do we have to put in place? Who is checking this? Because these are artisans.
Exactly.
And you know that when you are dealing with artisans,
You don't respect quality.
no, you don't. So someone has to be checking them and telling them, no, do it like this. Don't know when you're making it, don't
micromanage
dirty
the
it.
entire
How do we
process.
do it? Yes, don't take furniture to your clients dirty.
That's it.
So
Thank
who's
you.
checking it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a huge one. Yeah, that's a big
For
one.
me,
Thank
the
you.
challenge as to why it looks as if we do not have excellence as a culture is not just because of the drivers of the business. It's largely because of the workers.
I agree.
That is where also it goes back to the part of quality control. The visionary and the CEO or the creative director of that brand can really be passionate to want to deliver top-notch quality. But when it comes to how much of this work can you do yourself?
Sure.
You know, there's sometimes I have to not produce some garments because I'm not there to drive the production, even though I have a production manager. Even though I've put people in place, you put structure, when you talk about structure, you put structure in place, but then just know that some styles cannot just be produced without your eyes and your brain being there. If you ever try to allow them to do it, you find a totally different thing from what you would have produced by just supervising the process. So it goes down to say that the major challenge why it looks like Nigerians do not have that excellence in culture is because that skill that is predominant in entrepreneurs is not available in all Nigerians. We are very quick to looking for the easy way out. We're very quick to looking at the profit. We don't derive a lot of satisfaction from just doing a good job. The way I enjoy seeing my garment is just sometimes when I just create a design, isn't at my mind. By the time I just see the finished work, I'm like, damn.
So you like
that in itself.
you like the way Uwa is looking right now.
Even I can see a lot of errors. Even when people say, oh, it is beautiful,
really?
I'll be looking at it. I was like, I already know what I'm looking for, and I know what to check and what to fix next. I don't let people tell me, why didn't you do this before I even take, because I have a perfectionist sense of style. So the challenge for me, why it looks as if we have not really moved as fast as we should have or we could have, despite the fact that we have a lot of thriving entrepreneurs, it's because you cannot pass down this excellence as a culture that is innate in entrepreneurs to many of the followers and the staff. And that is a major concern that affects scaling in business.
I'm going to ask Joan a few questions, but I'd like for us to go on a very short break because there were some things you guys mentioned. I mean, you mentioned the 4 things. One of it was materials. And I know that in the furniture business, for instance, hinges, all those things, Omo, we'll be right back. Stay with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat on Buy Nigeria, right? So is excellent quality possible? That's the question. So please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So talking excellence, right? Is it possible for us to truly achieve excellence when the manufacturers so for instance now, the people that are manufacturing hinges, manufacturing tiles, manufacturing this that would eventually give the overall finished look, the excellence that it requires. If we are having problem from sourcing raw materials, how does this trickle down?
So for the raw materials, like I said, you as the visionary or the CEO, you need to pay attention. Like I personally, even though it's not part of my core day-to-day, but I intentionally, deliberately want to take part in procurement of raw material because I want to see that, okay, they are getting the right specification, the right materials, the quality. Like this hinges thing you mentioned, yes, it's not in our power because the truth is that those things actually are imported. But you can see the data sheet, some of these specifications. So you're able to see which one is anti-rust, which one is not anti-rust. You don't just go and buy any hinges in the market. Do you understand? So you ask, you ask for those information.
So example, let's stay on the hinges. These hinges, do you say, oh, because I know there are local companies that are producing things like that locally. And there are those that are imported. So you as a manufacturer of furniture, do you look out for instance, the wood that is imported, the whatever, or you source locally?
So there are, let me say the truth is that about 60% of what we use
are imported.
Yes, are imported.
Oh.
Sadly.
That's a large number.
Yes, so
that's the only way you can ensure you get quality
I think
work
the major thing that we use locally is the wood. Every other thing is imported. So you have the engineered boards, they are imported. You have your accessories, your hinges, your keys, they are all imported. So it's just that wood that we know that we can source locally. Every other thing is imported.
The fabrics too, you import them.
Come again.
The fabrics you use for the furniture.
The fabric you use, so some of them are not, some are. So yes, it's a 50-50, yes.
Clientele.
Yes, so the thing is that for me, I to the tiniest details, to the screws that I use, I check them. So even the imported ones, you need to check because they are very inferior ones and they're the solid ones, yes. So you need to check to the screws, to the nails, to the kind of adhesives that you're using. It's something that you need to be part of.
Because a beautiful chair can just rip apart because of those
because of one, yes.
Small.
Maybe because of the screw or because of the glue not using it
properly,
yes,
or is expired.
Or is expired. So those things has to be properly
how does
checked.
this affect the overall end product for you as a client? So it means that we're not going to get to that point where anytime soon the things will start to drop in terms of prices, because if you have to depend solely, because I've heard this, that sometimes it is cheaper for me to import some kinds of things, especially when it comes to home accessories, doors, beddings and all of those things. People say, no, let me just import that. By the time I load one container, I won't spend, this is reality, I won't spend half of what I would spend if I commission a local furniture designer here, you know. So maybe you should just give us a bit of, throw light into that, because it helps for people to understand why certain things are expensive, why it will mean like, okay, this is not affordable and this is cheaper and all of that. Maybe you should throw more light on that.
So for the people that want to import, so one major thing is most times you don't get bespoke, which is where we capitalize on. In fact, that's our strength. So you might want to do, maybe build a door for a house, and standard measurement those guys do might be a particular, and maybe your space, so you have to, bringing them down, you might have to start resizing and going through the hassle and all that. So that's one thing I can assure you that we have an edge over bringing in imported furniture. Another thing is, I don't know, somebody saying that it's cheaper. I don't think it's cheaper, especially now.
It's not
The
cheaper.
freight-
It's not cheaper.
The freight
I was
charge
going to
is
say that, but I wanted you to
it's
say
not
Yes.
cheaper,
It's
not cheaper.
because the
cheaper.
freight charge is over the
Yeah,
board right
true.
now. So by the time you think of freighting those things, yes, it might be cheaper free of freight, yes, before the
taxes,
freighting and all that, but by the time you add all the fees,
it's going to skyrocket.
nobody will tell you that just come and buy your locally
No, I
made.
think it's a function
furniture.
of preference and how comfortable people are to decide if they want to source locally or they want to bring it in.
And the quality as well.
Yes, the quality we drive here. Nigerians have improved. I really have to give it to Nigerians. The only challenge I see is our country is facing a lot of challenges that hinders growth as it should be. The level of drive in our entrepreneurs, the level of innovation, the way people get up and create things. Social media has even made a lot of us very much more driven than we used to be.
Yeah.
And you can see that in how everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to sell stuff. I just wonder who's going to buy. So it tells me that if we can get the right support in terms of infrastructure, we can really, really go a long way. You were talking about price going down. Nothing comes down when it goes up in Nigeria. Once it goes up, it stays up.
Going up.
Nothing ever comes down.
Well,
And we talked about, my darling, there was a time we talked about price hike. Trust me. Then we're not even talking. Now the price of things is way, way higher. You should bring that up.
You know, I
coming
think you
down.
should be campaigning. You should start your campaign here. Tell the people that when
That
you
what?
are voted in, things will drop.
Exactly.
That would be a lie.
It will not be a lie.
How
You
can
do
I
it.
sit here and make a decision on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
You know,
This is how we
it's
become
a
liars
ripple
as
effect.
politicians.
It's
No,
a ripple effect.
no,
It
you
starts
need
from
to-
one place and then it gets to the other.
Manny, you're going to rope me online.
No, I'm not.
So I think one thing she said I want to just take up is the infrastructure thing. Yes, we need support. So
Support.
yes, so
Government
there's little
support.
to so much you can do as an entrepreneur. Even
Yes.
if you have even
The
if your father
ideas.
is, do you get, you still need the support. So for us, we've been able to. We have a space, we have a functioning workshop, we have some equipment, but we need more equipment. We know we can do better than what we're doing now if we have some
More.
you
Yes,
know,
access to-
edge.
access to
Yes, so we
support.
need exactly. So we need
An
that.
enabling environment.
I actually
Power.
had a
You don't have to
conversation.
stretch your finances
and,
into
you
creating
know-
things that should naturally be available.
Sure. Like for manufacturers, I know one thing that you need more than anything is lights.
Power.
So yes, the government.
major
or-
thing.
yeah.
So I was going to say
don't say me I
that,
should
I mean,
come
when you
and
talked
promise
about
power on
equipment,
Oh, man.
When you
Lola,
talk-
you can do it.
Oh, yes.
I will not put both of you on the set. So when you talk about manufacturing and you talk about equipment, I remember having a conversation with one of my friends that she's into furniture making and all of that, and she went on and on about how those equipments were expensive.
Yeah.
You know, so why are we not looking in the light where?
You can make them.
So there's a friend of mine that went to New York Film Academy. New York Fashion School.
Okay.
And she said, while she was there for a year and all of that, they had like a big, what's it called? A big factory where all you do as your job is just butting.
Yes.
You know, somebody else is just joining.
Yes.
Somebody else is just the zipper. Somebody else, so it's massive. So even you as a manufacturer, all you need to do, take your fabrics there, different stages, different, and all of that. Why can't we start to think in terms of manufacturing in Nigeria? Why are we not thinking large scale, where even if we are proposing to government to support, what would that support look like? Will it be that, okay, there is a massive industrial hub they have erected in Mushin where equipments are there. All you need to do as Joanne is to carry your wood there, go and get all the design
Cut
that you,
it
if
and
they
do
say,
the assembly
even if the
machine.
customer say cut it like a snake,
You can
there's
do
a
it.
machine there that can do that. Would that sound like the ideal kind of help that you're looking for?
So yes, it's part of it. So in fact, if we have that, it's going to be fantastic, like in an industrial hub. So one, you've taken away operational costs from the entrepreneur. You've given the entrepreneur a need to improve on the quality of their product. So of course, it's going to be fantastic. So that's one. Another thing is to be able to have support people for international exposure. So we can have, see how these things, like maybe send people for trainings, you know.
It's your personal business now.
Yes.
So how would the government benefit from it?
The government is benefiting because you're going to employ
You're
people.
employing people.
And when you employ people, you're going to train them.
I think you
No,
expect...
you
no,
know,
hold on.
we're talking about locally made Nigerian.
Yes.
So if we're talking about training, we should
We
be
are
thinking
still
about training them here.
Okay.
Of course, we're training them.
Money,
here.
God will bless you. Because this is
Amen.
what we are still saying. Because
Yes.
the
We're
mindset
always
is
looking
that
far.
the person abroad training will train me better.
Look
Yes.
within. Look
So let me
within.
tell you, because I want to stick to this your field. One of the best places ever to get furniture, and I say it proudly, is
Edo State.
Okay.
Yes.
The best.
I
Oh,
agree.
really?
We have the wood.
Yes.
We have
Okay.
the expertise. We have
Okay.
the
Everything.
Local expertise.
yes. If you want
Very
to
local.
carve it,
I
you want
can't
to do
speak
this.
It's our work.
Yes, Edo State
It's
is
the
the
place.
hub for.
Are you guys biased?
why
or
are you not
still
training?
sincerely?
No.
There's no bias.
So why are we not training people?
So let's pick one at a time so that we can hear each other well. Now, the reason I'm saying this is that because even us as entrepreneurs, we make the same mistake to feel that I need to travel to Dubai to go and see what is being done.
Turkey.
When locally
Yeah.
here, because I know people that know this secret, when they are done with their houses, the skeleton, they bring in people from Edo State to come and build their doors. I've seen people do it in
Yeah.
Lagos. They build their doors, they build their beddings, they build all of those things because we have the expertise here. So is it a function of people do not know, or is it a function of everybody just like to, because they feel that the quality that I am looking for in terms of even the training that you're talking about, I can get it abroad? Even you did not know, so thank me later.
Information
It's a bit
sometimes
of both.
is the
It's a
thing.
bit
Yes,
of
there's a bit of a
both.
gap
Yeah.
in terms of the information available
Yeah,
to people.
yeah.
True.
I'm
And
just
that's
hearing
why
this
you
Edo
should bring
State.
this
Exactly, you're just
organization
hearing,
on the
check it
Waste
out.
Show so that they can talk to people and get this information out there. Really, sometimes people just do not know. If they can find help, they would happily source help locally as against. Now, we can't even fly anywhere anymore. COVID doesn't allow us to do that anymore.
Thank
So we
you.
have to depend on local
We are
content
forced to.
Yeah.
and develop capacity internally, whether we like it or not. That is our new narrative.
True.
So
Knowledge is power.
That's
So
it, it's just
Edo State
information.
government, this is over to you. I'm going to speak to Uki, the head of Edo Jobs. So she's not, it's like we're not promoting what we have. Well, so final question, because I think we're running out of time. Why are we not collaborating with bigger brands? So I know there's a Joan somewhere, Woodford Creation. There's also the other names that are big brands, you know. Is it a thing of, I don't know, what's the problem? Why are we not able to say, Joan would approach a bigger furniture company to say, you know what, I'm a smaller furniture company, I can get the jobs and everything I need so that I do not have to bear that overhead. So if we are still waiting for government to build the larger,
Is there any
I'm trying
way
to
we
find
can-
solutions here, yes.
Yeah.
If we're still waiting for government to build the larger manufacturing hub, it's not ready yet. Why are we not
Way we
approaching and doing, because I
collaborate.
believe in the power of collaboration.
Yeah.
So why are we not collaborating with bigger brands to build? Because the goal, the end goal is that we want to build something very quality that can stand anywhere in the world to say, okay, yes, this was built in Nigeria locally and it still meets standards internationally. Why are we not having that?
No, this thing you're saying, as in, I think some weeks ago I was discussing with some entrepreneurs about collaboration. We're saying that collaboration is a new competition. So personally, I've had a few talks with some people, like some other bigger people in the industry. And something I've discovered is that most times, I don't know whether it's an African thing, so you start the discussion and along the way, you just see the person pulling back or,
I was
you
going to
know,
respond to
do you
that.
get? So I think it has to do with the value thing. So one is if your value and that person's value
Does
aren't
not match.
aligning, you might have
They
issues.
don't
So
want to take up a liability.
yeah.
do you
or a
get? So
burden
you'd
upon
better off
themselves.
just do your thing. And like I said, I don't know if it's an African thing because we just seem to
I think it's
want
an
to do
African
our thing.
Because
Sorry?
I think it's an
Yes.
African thing. In Africa, we don't like showing people the way. So we feel like we're always in
Everybody-
competition.
everybody must
and
pay
if I
the
tell you
price.
about it, then you just will be in competition with me. So I would rather keep my information to myself and let you go find it yourself. So it's that thing. But in Benin, there's something they say, Aye Pongo. The market is big enough.
That sounds like a very...
So that's
See, I think what you touched on is the fact that you look at everybody just the way you see yourself, which is a good thing. you're projecting the possibilities you see for yourself on the larger society, but that's not the reality. Trust me, you sit down with people and they talk very nice and very smooth, and they say, oh, we can do, of course we can do it together. Trust me, that's as far as it goes.
Yeah,
Beyond that conversation,
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. You find that people just go back into their shell and they wall up. So you realize that people only help people that are successful. Nobody wants to give a hand to someone that is struggling, and that is the truth of Nigerian system. And that's why there's so much beef and bad blood in our system, because you feel that I cannot get help. Why can't I get help? Whereas the moment you start to upscale, then help that you do not even need
start
projected your way.
For example, our banks.
Even if people knew
Exactly.
When you
They
need,
will
they
never
will
give
when
a
you are
loan
just a
to
startup,
someone who is
they will
struggling.
never give a
You
loan
are
to
not
a
even-
startup. But
you are
the
high
minute you
risk.
start making money and making
They
waves,
start coming
they
to
chase
you and
down.
bring you
Yeah.
funds that you do
Yeah.
not even solicit for.
Okay, so what's the way forward? Because we want to genuinely push this Buy Nigerian.
We have to continue doing what we're doing. We have to continue pushing the narrative.
Yeah,
we have to
thank
continue
you.
encouraging each
Yeah.
other. We have to understand and accept that the challenges we are faced with are typical with the size of our country and the size of our development. So let's not be projecting on ourselves what happens in developed country. We are not a developed country. And it is because we see them every day through social media, we forget our place.
Yeah.
Let's understand that this is where we are really as Nigerians,
So
and this is the
let's
challenges
start
we
small
are faced with
and
grow through the
Yeah,
process.
organically. I agree.
Yeah, so that's it. We keep doing what we're doing, and
No different.
yeah, so just be there, consistent, and keep pushing your brand. Do all you can to want to meet that standard, and investing on what you need to do.
So I was going to ask you,
hoping that-
what was the biggest struggle for you in terms of quality control and delivering excellence in the
People.
course of your 4 years? The
People.
biggest, okay?
Yes,
People,
You see, people will mess you up.
the major,
And so what do you do?
Especially people in your industry.
This one, don't even go there.
and do you know I do not face the challenges that most tailors share? Because yes, it's about how you handle people.
Your staff.
Trust me, everybody needs somebody to lead them by their hands across the street, and if they can they can believe in you. Trust me.
Let me give you
Man, is it love?
You've been lucky. Or you've been blessed.
So for that, so we have this gap of having skilled carpenters. So what we've been able to do, which I know, like I said, we're still doing, is that before now we didn't have the equipment that we had. Truth is that the equipment has solved a big part of the problem, because like she said, you go somewhere, you just, okay, was it you that said you press one button and all that. So once you have equipment, all you need to do is to teach these people how to operate these equipment, and let's 80% of do the work. So that is what we've been able to do. So like 3 years back, I was struggling with getting things done, finished properly. Clients were complaining, but when I had equipment, I found out that the gap is there's improvement. Yeah. People are saying, "Oh, your job is better." They could see that.
It didn't mean that you didn't know what you were doing.
So what's your biggest advertisement? People, customer satisfaction. What pushes your brand? That brings business to you.
Customer satisfaction. Most of the jobs that we've had were based on referrals. Yes. So yes, we do marketing, but yes, the new customers come and they're like, okay, tell somebody else that those people at least they know what they're doing. I like their job, and you get referrals.
Thank you. Because I think for me, why I see that this is a big issue, and I thought, we should actually start to bring up the conversation is for us to talk to ourselves. Because again, sometimes you can't hide the fact that a lot of us also cut corners as business people. We cut corners. You know that this chair, you're supposed to pad it with 2
but you
layers.
Put one layer.
You put one layer and go and put a carton inside.
I don't share that thought.
No.
I would rather sell my product.
That's you.
When people are talking,
just calm down.
Because
most visionaries don't do that.
Yes.
Most visionaries, the CEOs, they won't do that. So it's when you give
the direct artisan.
Yes.
So what you're saying.
Sides,
So I love what. So what I love what you're saying. So what it means now that even when we think Nigerian, that we want to buy Nigerian, we shouldn't go to Mushin and say we are buying Nigerian.
Exactly.
We should go to a corporate organization that has a structure.
Thank you.
That they will not be the ones to liaise with a Mushin to get the same thing out, but it will now be at a better quality and a better standard.
What you know why? There's a gap. What you're talking about creative directors, and then the people that make the furniture, which are the artisans.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start, instead of just being creative directors, we should go further and learn how to do this thing so that we start to do it ourselves. We're not
I
just
do not
leaving
think your
it
business will
to-
survive if you don't
Yeah.
understand how to
Most
do
of
it.
the time, I know many people that run businesses, they have no knowledge.
I must
And
cut
how
garments.
exactly how do they check what is not
Exactly.
working?
How can you correct
Yeah, they hire
an error
people
you
to-
can't
They hire
fix?
people to
Okay,
just
so but I think we've had a fantastic conversation, because for me, it's about promoting Nigerian brands. There are people doing excellent jobs, and we want to
Recommend them.
bring as many people on as possible so that we can start to promote Buy Nigeria. Anything you want to think of, if it is whatever it is, there's a Nigerian doing it. We have to start to, because if we do it that way, economically,
scale.
Of
it
course.
will boost the economy.
course.
So it's, and this is what we are talking about. We are complaining our economy. How do you grow your economy if you do not, start to
Address
think,
issues.
Yeah.
Buy Nigeria. But thank you so much, Joan. We've had a fantastic
Thank you
conversation.
for having me.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Milela, the MM.
Nice. Did you not complete it?
Sorry. Thank you, Milola Tiwa Online. Honorable. Honorable Milola.
You're just being
No, that's not sarcastic. I'm speaking faith,
Milola,
because
we're
that's what
hailing
happens.
you.
We need people like you there, so
Yes,
that when we
so-
are doing policies, you'll be thinking of how to build a manufacturing plant in Mushin
You're
for your
already
fellow.
giving me a manifesto line.
Yes, so that's it.
It's
But that's the
advancement.
future. That's the
Yeah.
future. I believe so much in collaboration. I don't
Yeah,
know how,
collaboration is
but
good.
I believe strongly in it, and I know it will make a difference. All right, so before we go, Penny Tree, in partnership with Waze, will be giving 20 slots for people who sign up on their Pen Exclusive Associate Program. All you have to do is mention that you watched on Waze, and you stand the chance to earn over 200,000 Naira. Please go on their page now, follow them on Instagram, and go and learn how to activate and earn this money. All right, so follow us again on at Waze Show Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. And remember to like, share, comment, invite your families and friends to watch. This year, we want to do so much to impact you personally, so that your economy is going to be high. We want your GDP to be high. We want all of us as Nigerians, to grow progressively. So that's why we'll bring different kinds of people. So whatever it is, I'm sure you will find the one that fits to what you are doing. Thank you again, Joan. Thank you, ladies. All right, so remember, if you missed our quote, here it is again. Excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. So that intelligent direction is what a lot of these artisans actually do not have. All right, so we see you guys Monday at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy it.